So, we're recording.
Yeah, we have room for 2 minutes.
I always look at it and I'm like, is that actually 2 minutes or is it? Because you know when you put it on your editing and you like plug it into your laptop, it doesn't come up as time, it just has a random number.
It comes up as beats.
Yeah.
You can change it to time.
Oh.
Well, I can change it to time, which is a lot easier. Apart from then you get to... I always look at the thing, and when we get to 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, we've got enough.
Yes. I do that too.
But then I forget that I edit out about 5 minutes at the beginning of us doing this.
Yes.
So... And that's why, if anyone's still listening, that's why the episodes are so short.
But not coming up because you've got some really good guests if you're going to keep this in. That they're actually being organised and booked in. We're not just saying that.
Okay, I'm probably not going to keep this in.
No.
Anyway.
Cool.
Do you want to start or should I?
Okay, you can start.
Okay.
I think I did the last one.
I can't remember. Maybe. Probably.
To be fair, they probably weren't in order, so no one's really going to be able to remember, are they?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Pony Podcast with me, Tess Bishop, and Alex Van Randwick. Baroness Alex Van Randwick, as we've been struggling with. With our various applications.
Yeah, so we've had an issue with we're making this a real company.
Yeah.
And we've had to open a business account.
Yeah.
And this is our
So,
pitch.
I tell you what, they should teach that in school, because there's been very few times I've needed mitochondria as the powerhouse of the house cell. Although, did that not really get drummed into you at school?
Yeah, but how is this relevant?
Because they should teach you things like opening a business account, opening a bank account, how to submit your company to company's house.
Yes.
They should teach you real life skills, as useful as it is knowing that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It's been really helpful. Actually, I did a science degree, so it has been really helpful. But you know my point.
Life skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
anyway,
you can listen to us ramble on about what's been happening in our week, and you can learn from us.
Anyway, today's topic is grooming, because we're doing another care episode, because we haven't done a care episode in a while.
No.
It's been quite a while. So you lucky ducks get to listen to us talk for the next probably 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I figured this was like a good topic for this time of year because lots of ponies will be getting really muddy, in the field or in a bit more. So
I didn't realise until last year, so I'd had my horse for 4 years, she does not like mud. And I have never, and I mean in the whole time I've had her, you know when you bring your horse in from the field and it's got like mud caked on its face and you've got to curry comb it off? Never had to do that.
My horse used
in the
to
5
hate
years.
Mud, and now she loves mud.
No, I didn't realise until I went and I borrowed a friend's horse to go to hunt with bloodhounds down in Kent. Didn't realise until we got her horse in and she was like, oh yeah, just brush them off. And I was like, as it was like caked with mud everywhere. And I was suddenly like, I haven't had to do this in a very long time. And it's since I got Piglet. She's not like mud, doesn't roll in mud, doesn't roll when she's in the fields. Not a fan. Just not. She's brilliant. Absolutely 10 out of 10. Meryl Connaughton, who helped me buy Piglet, if you're listening, oh man, just you've saved me so much time. So much time.
So we'll start off with like why we groom, and there are a number of reasons for this. Mainly, it's because it's a good way to check your horse over for any injuries, especially if they've been in the field. It gives you a chance to run your hands down their legs and just like feel if there are any lumps and bumps.
It's good for their coats and it's good for bonding as well. Give them a little scratch. Like viewers can't see, and I have very un-Pony Club painted nails at the moment, but I keep my nails longer than I would normally because my horse likes a scratch and they're better for scratching.
My horse is hilariously demanding. Like if I'm standing by her stable door and I'm talking to someone, or I'm just like standing there chilling, if she wants a scratch, she very politely like puts her head on my shoulder and moves her lip. Like,
scratch me.
Come on. Like, won't get really aggressive and bite. She just is like, you're not paying me any attention. And I've got a spot that needs scratched.
Piglet, she will accept a scratch, but you'll scratch her for a bit. She doesn't like it too hard. She's very particular about how you scratch her. Doesn't like it too hard. And then when she gets bored of this, you can scratch for like 10 seconds or so, and then she goes, no, and she walks to the back of the stable, and then you're done. No more scratching for her.
Oh dear.
What other reasons do we groom for?
Keep them clean, which is kind of links onto the good for the skin thing.
Fairly self-explanatory.
Yep. So there are two different types of grooms. You can have like a full groom, which a lot of people don't do that now because time.
It takes a long time.
It does take a long time, but it's really good for them.
It's really good for your muscle tone.
Yeah.
It keeps you fit.
Yeah, because I noticed when my horse was in the whole time, I noticed that her coat got a bit flat.
Yeah.
Because she always had rugs on. And like, although I'd take the rugs off to ride and I'd give her a flick off then, because she wasn't moving as much out in the fields, her coat just got a bit like compacted.
Dull. Yeah.
And so I started, before I put her to bed in the evenings, I would like give her a good curry comb and a good brush and like get all the gunk out her coat.
You're like my mum. Mum does that with my horse. She's not a big fan of like a full groom, my pony, but with Mum, she'll put up with it. With me, she's like, "Can we go riding now? Let's not do this anymore."
Yeah, the full groom is like, takes what, half an hour?
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Yeah, like it's something you put time aside for. Yeah, you're not just gonna like be like, "Oh, I'll just quickly do this," and then.
Yeah, because that is what is known as quartering.
Yeah.
It's a quick groom. So you like flip them off, brush them in and tail, maybe give their eyes and nose a wipe, and put their feet out.
Hoof oil on, yeah.
Yeah, ta-da, ready to go.
So in your grooming kit, you will have, hopefully, if you followed all of the handy bits of advice, you will have a body brush, a dandy brush, curry combs. So there are 3 different types of curry comb. So there's a metal curry comb, rubber curry comb. What's the last one?
A plastic one.
Oh yeah. 3 different types of curry comb. You use the plastic one for like getting big chunks of mud off their coat, off the top of their coat. The rubber one for like rubbing in circles that will help get hair out when they're molting. It helps lift dirt from beneath the hair and like off the skin. And the metal one you don't use on them, you'll use it to clean a body brush. What else do you want? You want sponges, you want combs, you want a water brush for scrubbing their feet, and
also a water brush. We always used to use it where I used to work when we bathed them.
Yeah.
That we'd like,
because it's all scrubby and scratchy.
Yeah. But I'd never seen a horse clean.
Yeah.
Because you'd like use the water brush, put some shampoo on it, and like use the shampoo in the coat, and then as you wash them off, rinse them off, you'd use the water brush to like get all the shampoo out.
Yeah.
And literally you could see the difference between like, the coat that was clean and the coat that was not.
Yeah, they're good things. And you also might have a stable rubber or a towel and hoof oil and a hoof pick. And anything else?
Sweat scraper.
Sweat scraper, yeah. You want to make sure you have 2 different sponges, one for the dock and under the tail, and one for their face. Can't have them both because that's gross, guys. That's gross.
Lots of people also have like massage pads. Everyone has the gloves.
Yeah.
They give them a good scratch, and that's just like having a curry comb on your hand.
Yeah.
That rubber one. And you can also, lots of people have magic brushes now.
I love those. Absolutely love them. They don't sponsor the podcast, but man, wish they would. They are great.
Yeah, they're good. They're like plastic curry combs, but better.
Really, really fine.
Yeah, and really soft as well.
Yeah.
So you don't feel mean brushing them with it because you're like, oh, I can rub it across my hand, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel mean brushing with a plastic curry comb, but
no,
maybe that's just me.
But it looks like more like a brush than a...
It's good for brushing their manes as well because you don't rip all the hair out.
You magic brush in their mane?
Yeah. Just
I've never done that before.
Well, because you know how you're meant to brush a tail out with a dandy brush.
Yeah.
Not that I know anyone who does, but you want to brush a tail out with a dandy brush. I use magic combs on. I wouldn't on their tail because there's so much hair. Just get an old hairbrush and use a hairbrush. But on their manes, if like you can't be bothered, just like run a magic comb over it. I mean, if they're really long and knotty, you're not doing like Piglet's mane. It wouldn't touch the sides, but if they've got like a relatively nice mane and you don't want to take any hair out because like they've got a fine mane, like they're thoroughbred or something, just a magic brush gets some of the knots out and makes it look neat and presentable. Yeah, that's very much it.
And when you're using your bits of the grooming kit, you want to like put a bit of weight behind them, so you can actually, like when you're using your body brush, you want to put a bit of weight, so you also help to get the circulation going.
Yeah, good for your circulation as well. Builds those arm muscles.
Oh, and something else that people don't always know or forget is you should use different arms on different sides of the horses.
Yeah, so that you can get your body weight behind them. So like if you're on your horse's right side, you should be using your right arm.
Yeah.
And you should be facing towards the tail.
Yeah.
So you can get your full body weight behind it.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a lot of effort though.
Yeah.
Like, man, that keeps you fit.
Yeah.
Like, that does keep you fit. When people complain that with horses, you just sit there, you're like, it's not just for A, you don't with riding. B, you've got all the upkeep and everything as well.
Out and the walking. So I've got my new phone. It's been tracking my steps.
Yeah.
And my old phone didn't. And I think there's something wrong with it because it told me I did a lot of walking yesterday and I had the day off and I literally went and did my horse in the morning, came back, started admin, went to the physio and went rode my horse.
Maybe you're doing more walking than you think you do.
Maybe. But it was right because I was teaching a lot on Saturday and that was my highest walking day.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I average about 25,000 steps a week.
A week? Oh, I do more. I'm pretty sure I do more than that.
I feel like maybe my phone isn't working so much.
I feel like probably your phone isn't working. Because a week. Like, or you're leaving your phone at home a lot.
I leave my phone on the side when I muck out.
Well, that could be it.
So today I've done 13,000 steps apparently.
How many steps? I mean, I won't have done that many today because I've been at work and I have a desk job now.
I feel like someone's going to complain. Tangents.
I've done 4,000 steps today. Alicia's definitely going to complain because she's complained about that before, and I was like, don't care. I like a tangent, so enjoy.
And so if anyone wants to compare how many steps they do, they know how many steps we do in a day.
When I was rowing, so I was a rower in my first year of uni, if anyone doesn't know. I only did it for a year and then it ruined my back and I didn't like it and I don't have the attitude for it at all because my legs would hurt and I'd be like, I'm going to stop now because this is not very fun. And everyone would be like, oh, well, obviously you're not going to be very fit because you're just a rider and the horse does all the work. And I was like, hey, boats don't muck themselves up. No, boats don't need mucking out. So there's a lot more upkeep in my sport than there is in yours.
Something very exciting happened today.
Yeah.
This might get left in the podcast.
Okay.
So I went to catch my horse at 11:30.
Yeah.
Because I have to leave at 12 to go and teach.
Okay.
I turned her out at 9:30.
Yeah.
Only been in the field for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I went into the field.
So peak Maria being like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like not even she'd been out all day, so she had plenty of time. She doesn't have my grass, but I went out and she was stood at the far end of the field.
Yes.
Field's not very big, but she was stood away from me.
Okay.
And I didn't go up to her. I stood by the gate and the fence, and I was like, "Come on!" And she looked at me, and then she walked really slowly over to me.
Aww.
And she stood like just far enough away that I couldn't catch her.
Yeah.
And I reached over and I gave her a treat because I was like, that was really, really good coming over to me. And she said, looked at me, and then looked at me, and then took another step and was like, this is as far as I'm going. And I was like, will she let me catch her? Will she let me catch her? And I like tentatively reached over and you don't fun. And she was like, come on, let's go in now. And I was like, oh my god.
For anyone who is listening, that breakthrough came courtesy of our Blue Cross retraining episode. Yeah. So if you want to know how to catch her, I mean, it's been quite a saga.
My horse has been left out for 2 days before because she wouldn't come in, and we left her out like in somewhere we could corral her. We left her in a small field. We didn't leave her any water, so she had to come in. 2 days.
She knows her own mind, your horse.
Anyway.
So
other parts of grooming we're going to talk about is trimming and washing.
Yeah.
So
trimming, there's a highlight on our Instagram. For anyone who doesn't follow our Instagram, what is wrong with you? It is at the Pony Podcast on Instagram. As I said. Yeah, Instagram, that's the one. It's been a long day. It's been that long a day. On Instagram. And you can see me trimming one of the lovely ponies at Harry Mead's. It's not one of Harry's riding horses, don't get too excited. They wouldn't, I wasn't trusted. It's fair enough. But one of the lovely ponies that was kept there. And I go through what bits you want to trim, how you're going to trim them. There are little videos that you can follow and replay, and they're all put together on our Instagram on one little handy highlight so that you can peruse at your leisure. Of me and the lovely Dolphin. I know. Everyone hated him, apart from me.
So which bits would you trim?
So I kind of go for the trimming everything.
Okay.
Because I was brought up on a dressage yard, and you take everything off. So pull manes, pull tails. I didn't do pulling tails on the highlight. So if you want to learn about pulling tails, we'll do that at some point, because my horse looks like a mountain goat. She's going to get trimmed. So I trim pull tails, pull manes, trim feathers off, trim the hair around the coronet band, so you take all of that off. I trim the outside of the ear fluff, so you take that off, unless if you're going to clip it, then clip it, but if not, outside of the ear fluff. I trim bridle paths. I don't trim whiskers because they need those. They are genuine sensory organs, and there's a reason it's illegal in Germany to take them off. Leave that on, but I will take, you know, the like beard whiskers.
Yeah,
beardy
under their jaw.
Yeah, so I'll take all of that off. And after I've pulled their manes, I'll go along the bottom of the mane with a pair of scissors. Just so you don't put like a harsh line on it, but you'll just like flatten the end off so it's less uneven, and take that off. And I'll probably take, you know, at the base on top of their wither, there's that bit of mane that you can't plait. And if you do plait it, it's just a plait that stands bolt upright and it looks really weird. I'll take that bit off as well.
You're more brutal with your trimming than I am.
Yeah, everything comes off, apart from whiskers, because
I always used to get into this at where I was working, that they'd be like, I'd go to a show and groom, and they'd be like, oh, don't forget to take the whiskers off, and I'd subtly forget to, because I was like, I don't want to do that. If you want to do it, you can do it yourself. Yeah.
See, I always used to take the whiskers off because I was brought up in dressage, where the horses were clean shaven and everything came off. And then I kind of looked into it, and we never had any horses who didn't like it. We never had any horses who had like bad reactions to it or didn't like it. And I was reading a thread on Facebook, as all the best information comes from, and people are so reasonable on Facebook. I find no savage like opinions at all. And it was this long thread of people being like, well, my horses don't like it, I think it looks smarter. And then some people were like, well, there was a woman who, she had a blind horse and she'd taken its whiskers off and it had walked into a wall, and I was like, no, well, yeah, but I feel like if your horse is blind, leave it its whiskers.
So where
gotta have something.
When my sisters keep their ponies, sorry, another tangent. They've got a Shetland they look after who is pretty much blind. Yeah. And he uses his nose and his head to like find his way around. And they have to make sure that everything is in the same place. Yeah. Otherwise he can't find stuff. Yeah. So like they turn him out and everything, but they always make sure that the pile of hay is in the same place. Yeah. And when they feed him, they put the bucket in the same place so that it's like right under his nose, so he knows where it is. Yeah,
which makes sense. You know, if your horse is blind, you've got to give them something else to feel their way around with. So I did think her point was probably irrelevant. And I was just reading this thread and I was a bit like, even if my horse can function perfectly well with or without them, there's still, like, I do not live in her brain, so there is still a chance that she doesn't function perfectly well without them as with them. So, you know, am I really gonna take away something that she might have a use for, even if it's not desperately vital, just because it looks nicer? Like, is that really going to be my reasoning? And I had the same with my lovely Fairfax bridle, which I was umming and ahhing about whether I liked it because it looks really chunky and she's got a really fine head, so it just looked weird on her head. And I was kind of like, if I've got the opportunity and the means to have one, am I really going to say, oh, I don't want my horse to be more comfortable just because it looks ugly? Yeah. And I do think they look quite ugly, but also she's more comfortable, and realistically, I don't care how she looks as long as she's more comfortable, you know? Like, and that was my thinking with whiskers as well. But I have gone through a lot of my life just whacking them off. And if people do whack them off, I'm you know, I question it, but I'm not going to beat them around the head with a stick and be like, with a stick and be like, you're being cruel to your horse. I don't think it's cruel, but I don't think it's right either. That's where we're at. But yeah, so go to our Instagram at the Pony Podcast and see my lovely trimming highlight, because I'm really proud of it.
And then if you want to wash them, you can. Washing the whole horse, it probably isn't a very good idea unless it's summer.
Unless you've got like a solarium and hot water and all the fancy trimmings, which some people do have. And
don't wash a pony that's not been clipped. It's just in a winter coat. No. It's not fair, and you'll take like 3 days to dry, and then it will be cold.
And he'll be muddy by then anyway. Yeah. So.
Oh, and if you've got a pony that lives out, I should have said this earlier, don't use a body brush on them. Yeah. Because it strips all the oil from their coat.
And they need the oil to be waterproof.
So yeah, just give them a good curry comb, a dandy brush, get the mud off if you want to ride. but don't back out.
Yeah. If you are going to bath them, was it with you I found out the other day? When you're rugging them, we talked about this last time. If you put if you have a rug that's got like fabric on the underside and you put a fleece on top of that, it pulls all the moisture out through the rug. So if they are clipped, you can give them a bath and put their normal rug on and then a fleece on top, and they'll dry.
However, if you've been grooming your horse properly, as per the beginning of the episode, you shouldn't need to give them a bath.
No, that should probably be fine.
You can just wash their tail without doing the whole horse. So if you get like a bucket of water, just dunk the tail up to the dock, some shampoo, and use the same bucket of water to rinse it off. Don't try not to get any soap on the dock, because if you don't wash it off properly, it can make them really itchy.
Yeah. And if you get the cold water on their dock and they do the like, but they tuck their back end right up underneath them, it's a really good muscle activation exercise. When we talked to, it's one of the ones that Anna mentioned in our Anna the Physio episode. We're doing a lot of referencing of other episodes. Yeah. If you're still listening, which I doubt anyone is, to be honest, if you're still listening, go back and listen to our other episodes. They're really good.
You know, on YouTube, because I've been YouTube that, it tells you how far people get before they get bored and turn off.
Depressing.
I was going to say it quite cool to know about the podcast episode.
I think that would be really depressing. I think that would be everyone listening to the first 5 minutes and being like, nah.
If anyone does listen this far, please send us a message so that we know we're not alone.
By this point, it's just us talking to ourselves. Most of my life, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we can cover a little bit on clipping and strapping. So clipping, we will do at some point a video on clipping, because it's not something that comes across very well audibly. On
audio.
Good. Yeah. Excellent. Well done. So we will do a video that you can watch and see and learn from. But for now, why would you clip your horse?
Clip your horse if they've got a winter coat and they're getting hot when they're working, to make them more comfortable. Also, some horses, when they just have a winter coat, if the weather changes, they get really warm. Yeah. And if your pony has Cushing's, you might need to clip it out because they can't shed their coat. Yeah.
Or if they get, I was thinking about this the other day, if they get like medical things like rain scald or mud fever, you need to clip their hair off so that you can treat their whatever it is, whatever they've got, basically. What you can do different types of clip, and you should always clip according to the work that your horse is in and not according to what looks good on your horse.
Yeah. You know what's annoying me at the moment? Yeah. You know how you have all the different types of clip? Yeah. And you go like, you've got your bib and belly, and then your chase, and then your trace, and then your blanket. Yeah. The one that lazy people do, where they clip the front end of the horse and they do a line from their flank up to their withers.
Oh.
Yeah. Because they don't want to do a line for a blanket clip because it's hard. Yeah. But they also don't want to do a line for a trace clip because it's hard. And if you do that line, no one can see the line goes under the saddle. But it's not a real clip.
Sneaky. Yeah, that is.
It looks ridiculous.
That is sneaky. I pretty much just go with Piglet because she's very well behaved and she doesn't sweat a lot until she's in really hard work. So I will tend to go straight to full. Me too. And I don't leave legs on because I am bad at lines. So I just take everything off.
No, I leave legs on because I'm bad at clipping legs.
No, it just all comes off. She's good with it. It all comes off, and it takes forever, but it all comes off. And I've got to a point now where I can clip without leaving any lines on it. So from day one, she looks ready to go. But normally, with most horses, I would start with doing like a bib cut. So you do it like down the lines in their neck. Yeah. Basically, just whatever the hottest bit is, you just do down the like gullet line, and then to maybe take a bit of the belly off,
and in between the front legs,
all the like hot points. Maybe take some of their belly off, and then you'll go to probably something like you'll go to a chase, which is it's called a chase or a trace.
No, it's a chase.
Okay,
it's a chase because listen to my a chase clip runs from their point where their flank is, the base of their flank, just by their stifle,
from their like point of their patella.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but like not
the bottom of their stifle. Yeah.
So it runs, and then you kind of run along in like a straight line, and then when you get to their shoulder, you come up, and run up
To their withers.
to
their ears.
To the underside of their jaw.
Oh,
The underside of their jaw. But you can have like different heights.
Yeah.
Depending on how much work your horse is in.
Okay.
And then obviously you do between their front legs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then a trace clip goes from their point of buttock in a straight line all the way across and up to their head.
Yeah.
And you know why it's called a trace?
I do.
Oh.
That's how I remember. I didn't know the two were different. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like Mum probably didn't. She probably told me at some point, but...
the trace one's got that little half semicircle that you have in a blanket clip.
Yeah.
But a chase doesn't.
Well, it's called a trace because it follows the line of the traces from when people were carriage driving a lot. And the traces are like where the reins go. So it goes from their head, obviously where the bit is and everything, all the way along their neck and down their side where the traces would go, and like on the, I want to say spokes, but they're not spokes, like the bits that the horse stands between in the carriage, like the spokey bits.
The spokes are in the wheels, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but I don't know the correct word.
When we get the carriage driver on that we've been trying to pin down because she lives really far away, she will tell us.
That is the word that my brain is coming up with. All it's saying is spokes, because it's like arms at the front. That bit.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a blanket clip is quite self-explanatory.
But it follows the line of like a proper
Exercise
quarter sheet.
Yeah.
Proper exercise sheet. A quarter sheet, yeah. So it's straight down from the wither to like midpoint of the shoulder, and then straight along to the point of buttock, and it goes over. You have that little semicircle over the flank, stifle, yeah. There, where that big wall is. Yeah, where you go around.
So the yard I'm working at the moment, on the
More
first
tangents,
day, the first day they were like, "We've got some clipping for you," and I was like, "Cool, I can clip." And they were like, "Pretty much everything has a blanket clip." And I was like, I hate blanket clips so much.
Well, I bet you're good at them now.
No, I'm not.
This is why everything I clip pretty much gets full clipped, because get it off.
Yeah. And then,
But if your horse isn't in that much work, don't do it, because you'll just end up with a very fresh pony.
or a cold pony.
Or a very cold pony, yeah.
And then your hunter clip leaves legs,
And a
saddle patch,
and
half your head.
Yeah.
And then your full clip hits everything off.
Yeah.
But you never clip inside the ears.
No, never clip inside the ears. What?
Never clip inside the ears.
My pony's really good at clipping, so I do take the ear fluff off.
Off the outside, but not on the inside.
Well, you know when it sticks out of the ear?
Yeah.
So you fold the ear in half and go down? Yeah, I'll do that.
I did that, but you don't go inside the ear and clip all the hair off.
See, where I used to work, we'd do that.
Yeah,
you
but
take
it's not okay.
everything off. Yeah. Yeah, you just
not okay.
get all of it. And it's worth mentioning if you do have a horse who's good with trimming and clipping and everything, and you can do their head fine, doing bridle paths, so much easier with clippers.
Although
so much easier.
My horse moved when I was clipping her this year for the first time, as I was running up her neck, and I was in that last one, when you go as close as you dare, and she went, "Ooh!" And I took off a chunk of her mane, and I was like, "Oh no!" But at least her mane's ridiculously thick, so.
I know someone who was clipping. Someone I worked for, one of their top horses, their top horse, and it moved, and she took off like a massive chunk of mane, and was just like, and the person I was working for is the sort of person who would notice, and now she's not allowed to clip that horse anymore.
But guys, don't be scared, because at the end of the day, hair grows back.
Yeah, it does, and it grows back very quickly. So realistically, you're fine. I mean, the amount of times I've taken big chunks of Piglet off, and she's so hairy. It's good. It's really very good for her. Okay, we'll talk really quickly about strapping, because if you are looking at doing your AH test, is it in the B test now?
It always was in the B test.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt like at B test we had to vaguely know what it vaguely was, but at AH I had to do it at my AH test.
It was in pony care pretty much every year.
Okay.
And they never asked questions about B.
Okay. Well, we'll talk a little bit about strapping, which is, what are the reasons you would strap your horse?
So strapping is good for building muscle and circulation, and it's good for your skin, the horse's skin. And basically what you do is you work, there's 4 groups of muscles.
Yeah.
So you work the top of the neck muscles.
Not the underside, always the top.
Which I think is the brachiopephalus,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I mean, yeah, sure.
That's one over the top.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah.
The like crest muscle.
Yeah.
It's really big in dressage horses.
Mm-hmm.
That one, yeah.
On your shoulder muscles,
Yeah.
you want to work the muscles on top of the quarters.
Yeah.
And then there's like your muscle,
Like a hamstring.
yeah, like the lower part.
Yeah.
And the back. And you'd get like a massage pad or a towel, or you can get like a body brush and put a bit of towel around that, so you've got a handle and you can
something fairly big, like bigger than palm size and padded.
yeah.
And then what you do is you choose your targeted muscle group and you smack with the pad quite firmly onto the muscle, and then like push away as if you were brushing.
Yeah, like with this kind of force that you would put behind a brush.
Yeah, but like you bang it onto the muscle and then sweep it away. Yeah. So you're like kind of brushing at the same time, but with quite a lot of force. And then the more you do it, the horse like tenses the muscle group as you're doing it, and that's what builds the muscle.
And what you actually want to see is, as you swing your arm up to come down, you want to be able to see the muscle tense underneath it.
Yeah.
So then you don't actually it's not actually you hitting them with the thing that's making the muscles contract.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a condition.
Yeah. And that's what builds muscle. And it is really, really effective, especially if you've got a horse who's like on box rest, but you don't want them to lose muscle tone, something like that. It's really good.
Or we used to do it when it snowed.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't go out, so we started strapping them. And you always build up. So you might start at like 5 on each muscle group.
Yeah.
And then gradually build up, because it can be quite, especially if you've got a horse that's a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Having you
quite alarming.
swinging your arm up and whacking it down, and they can be like, "Oh my god, what's that?"
You having been a friend of theirs,
yeah, and then
suddenly smacking them.
Yeah, but it's something that you would have incorporated into a full groom at the end, just to like give them a shine.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have anything else?
No, I think so. If anyone else does anything else, by all means get in touch. Yeah. Because we are also starting to plan our episodes for next year.
Yeah.
So if you've got anything that you want to learn about or people you want to hear from, get in contact, because we've got a lot of numbers in our phone book that you can call on. And people that asked for showing and studs, haven't forgotten you. We're in the process of arranging someone to come on and talk about showing.
Someone asked for Lucinda Green as well, and we are
on that.
She's gonna, well, at some point, we haven't contacted her yet, but at some point we will get her.
We know where we're going to contact. Yeah. We have a way of contacting her, so we'll get her on.
She can't escape. If she's anything like the prices. The prices, when we were in Poe, we spent quite a long time kind of subtly following Tim Price around, because we were working with the live stream and we were trying to get him onto the live stream to commentate, and he was avoiding us. Definitely avoiding us by that point. And we managed to corner him. He was on a bike chatting to someone. We walked...
Why would you tell everyone this?
Because it's a hilarious story. We were walking up to Tim, Tom McEwen and someone else. Felicity
Collins.
Collins.
It was Ross Cantor, Felicity Collins.
Sure, yeah. So we're walking up to this group, and Tim spots us and then very quickly puts his feet on the pedals to cycle away, and Alex just runs the last few steps and goes, no, don't leave. Tim kind of looks worried, looks at Alex and goes, don't leave? And then I look at Alex and go, don't leave. As if the man didn't think we were stalking him already.
So now everyone can see why I write the episodes.
So Tim, if you're listening, we're very sorry.
Tim isn't listening.
Just in case we do get him on the podcast.
No, when we get him on the podcast. By the end of Poe, he was our pal.
Just in case we do get him on the podcast and he decides to do some homework. We're very sorry. I feel like we should apologise at the end of every episode, just in case that's the one he listens to.
No.
And as ever, we're very sorry to Tim Price.
Oh.
Who else have we stalked? Russell Guire. We should apologise to him, because we've fangirled a lot about him as well.
It just means that we're interested in their work.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it does. In a totally non-creepy way. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway,
thank you for listening, those that are still listening.
Yeah.
After this episode of Tangents.
If you are still listening and you don't follow us on Instagram, honestly, you should, because we're brilliant. You can follow us at the Pony Podcast on Instagram, the Pony Podcast on Facebook, and if you have any episodes that you want to suggest to us because there's something you want to learn about, or there's something you're struggling with in like your test training or anything like that, or even if you're doing a university course or something that's similar, we can work that out. You can email theponypod@gmail.com. And if you...
Or DM us.
Or DM us on any of the other social medias that we've talked about. You should go back and listen to our other episodes if you haven't already, because they are just absolutely cracking. What's your favourite episode that we've recorded so far?
I don't know. I really enjoyed the one with Kirsten, Miss Worldwide.
That's one of our highest rated episodes.
It was really good.
I think my favourite is still Travel Buddies.
Just because your editing was so good.
No, well, because my editing was so good. And also, it's the only one that's made me genuinely, like, have to stop because I was laughing so much. Like, I had to pause the track because I was laughing so much at us in it. I feel like this might be another one because, you know. Anyway.
And also, if people need to have a look at our YouTube channel, because we've got the video of Poe out.
Yeah.
And soon there will be a video about a noble equestrian very kindly gave us a rug to try out.
Yeah.
There'll be a video up about that soon showing
really
what
cool.
it is and how clever it is. And yeah, there'll be some videos coming up over Christmas to help you guys training for your tests over the winter.
As ever, like, rate and subscribe, and you can rate individual episodes, which will help you guys decide which one is like your favourite as well, and whether you're the same as other people. And that's it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bye.